Hello everyone and welcome on behalf of the Vance County Arts Council. We'd like to thank you for joining in to our Black History Month program sponsored by the North Carolina Arts Council and Vance Family Medicine here in Henderson, North Carolina. We'd like to thank them for sponsoring events such as this for our community. These events will be shared with the school system and also the general public, so they will be uploaded by Monday coming up the 7th of February. You can view it throughout the month. Again, we'd like to say thank you to the North Carolina Arts Council and the Vance County Arts Council and Vance Family Medicine. We'd like to introduce to you today our storyteller of the day, and it's Willa Brigham from Cary, North Carolina. She's a storyteller, two-time Emmy-winning storyteller, and she's also an artist. She's always bring me a lovely card. She does quilting, storybooks, and music. You'll see her on Saturday mornings on the TV. So at this time, give a warm round of applause for Willa Brigham.
Thank you. Thank you. We're all different, yet we're all the same. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're all different, yet we're all the same. We just have different winning styles. Now, some of us are reading smart. Yes, we are. And some of us are number smart. Yes, we are. And some of us are fashion smart. Yes, we are. We just have different winning styles. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you know. When you find your winning style, take the idea and off you go. Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you know. When you find your winning style, you'll fly high. Now, some of us are cooking smart. Yes, we are. And some of us are eating smart. Yes, we are. And some of us are computer smart. Yes, we are. We just have different winning styles. Now, some of us are planting smart. Yes, we are. And some of us are art smart. Yes, we are. But all of us are very smart. I hope you will help me sing. Yes, we are. We just have different winning styles. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you know. When you find your winning style, take the idea and off you go. Doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you know. When you find your winning style, you'll fly high. We're all different, yet we're all the same. We want the same things. We want happiness and joy and love and family and friends and great careers. And we want to be treated justly, just like everybody else. I'm nice to you and you're nice to me. Use your manners. Be nice. Be kind. The little things. And then you can listen to great stories like this one. Long-haired Bickles and short-haired Bickles lived in the land of the melting popsicle. They lived on the rocks. They lived in the streets. They were the friendliest folks whenever they'd meet. Long-haired Bickles had long hair down to the floor. And short-haired Bickles had very short hair. The hair almost no. The Bickles were the same in almost every way. They walked and they talked and they played all day. They had the same eyes. They had the same nose. They were very different except for their clothes and their hair. Some hair was green like grass in a meadow, and some hair was heavenly blue. Some hair was light yellow like the birds of a feather, and some another hue. Some had golden brown hair, and some had afternoon black, and the hair on their head went in colors just like that. Hair in fat braids, and hair in round buns, and pigtails and ponytails, and almost none. Washed and dried in the noonday sun for all Bickles had some hair. A stranger came from outside of town to see what the Bickles were so proud of. They all got along. They were courteous and kind. They treated each other with respect all of the time. The stranger set out to divide them. He said, I know the way. I will plant seeds of disrespect, doubt, and lies every day. Sure enough, some long hairs believed, and the lies of deception the stranger conceived. Then the long-haired Bickles decided one day they were superior. Their hair led the way. It was on that day they decided to split from short-haired Bickles whose hair did not fit. We have long hair and we're just grand. You short-haired Bickles don't fit in our plans. We're better than you. Our hair is so strong. Now you short-haired fellas just run along. And just like that, the Bickles split up. They separated themselves, limb from limb, cup from cup. They separated themselves down to the last peanut. They no longer shared music. They no longer shared books. Their dispositions changed, and they shared dirty looks. Long-haired Bickles said, you're short hair, you're too short. It will never do. How can we possibly spend time with you? When the short-haired Bickles came out to play, the long hairs just ran away. The long-haired Bickles had lots of fun and invited other long-haired Bickles to join. They gathered at the parties. They went fishing in the lakes. They ate white sweet potatoes that they dug up with rakes. They played in the band and they sang in the show, but the short-haired Bickles had nowhere to go. They were not allowed to play in the bands or sit with the other long hairs in the stands. They had no rakes to dig up sweet yams. The short-haired Bickles were in a terrible jam. Then one evening, out of the blue, came a young woman who nobody knew. She was new in the village and she proudly proclaimed, my name is Tattoo, and I hear you have issues. Your wishes are granted. Get rid of those tissues. I won't cost you much. My prices are fair. I can make your life better. Let's start with your hair. Then she explained that she was an artist and hair was her subject. She'd do her best work, her hardest, she said. With wigs and weaves and glue and stitches, she could stitch on some hair and then stitch up your breeches. The short-haired Bickles lined up at the door, gave up their money and walked across the floor. They sat in the chair and each took their turn to earn the hair their money had earned. Their short hair made longer. What a beautiful sight. It curled so gently, its length was just right. Now the short-haired Bickles were short hairs no more. Their hair was so long it swept to the floor. The new long-haired Bickles raced down the street, saying hello, hello, hello to each long hair they'd meet. We have long hair now. We can play with you. We can do whatever we want to, whatever you do. We have long hair now. We can share again. We can sing in the show. We can play in the band. If you look closely, you will not see any difference from you as you're looking at me. My hair is long. It looks just like yours. You can buy it in the booth. You can buy it in the stores. We can go to your parties. We can sing in your band. We can all sit together and we can play in the sand. Oh, no, 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 cried the long ones who had long hair before. We still look quite grand. Grand? Let's make it more so. So Tattoo was waiting with her door open wide. She greeted the old long-haired Bickles and welcomed them inside. Come in, she said, and do take a rest. Looks like you need some help, and I can relieve your stress. For the money in your cookie jar and the change in your purse, you can be the finest Bickles on earth. Long hair is out, short hair is in. Please take a seat so I can begin. Faster than an egg frying on a brick, Tattoo cut off their hair and she cut it off quick. The Q-cut cuties gave a great cheer. Yay! Once again, they were superior. The evidence was clear. They raced through the marketplace and gathered in the streets, and they shouted, victory! And victory is sweet. We know what is better, and short hair is it. We are the best Bickles, the title fits. And then the long-haired Bickles, who was short-haired at first, had to make a decision who'd be best and who'd be worst. It didn't take long to make that decision. They marched off to Tattoo in a straight line of precision. The whacking and hacking, and was done in a rush for a $20 special for hair that was crushed. The Bickles were cue balls, no hair to be found. They cut it all off and they left it on the ground. And when they appeared in the Bickle Town Square, the long hairs with short hair shouted, hey, that's not fair. We're the special ones with no hair. So back and forth, it went on for days. Long hairs and short hairs and difficult ways. You could not tell one Bickle from another, be it sister, be it mother, not even their brother. They gathered in the playrooms. They played in the malls. They couldn't tell the difference when they walked down the hall. Miss Tattoo then upped her price. The Bickles were broke. They couldn't buy rice. No Bickles had money to purchase her wares. They could not make changes. But by now, nobody cared. And dear Miss Tattoo, with her scissors and chair, packed up her money and left the town in despair. She was off to another town in distress, with other Bickles thinking they were better than the rest. She would make a profit from someone's despair with something so simple as the length of one's hair. After the Bickles had time to reflect and remembered a time when they treated each other with respect, a meeting was called, and they had to start over again and not let someone's hair cause them to sin. They also recalled the magical rule. Don't be tricked and don't be fooled. Treat others with kindness, love, and care. You will always find a friend out there. When it comes down to basics, they already knew a Bickle's a Bickle, no matter what hue. A Bickle with long hair or short, and that is a lesson they never forgot. When I walk with my family around the neighborhood, we all know that walking is fun and exercise is good. I walk with my family to spend some time and to help my food digest. But spending time with your family is what we all love best. Start walking, start talking, be amazed at what you see. Start walking, start talking, you're with your family. Start walking, start talking, what they say is true. Spending time with your family makes a better you. There are things you see when you're walking that you cannot see from the car, like lightning bugs and dragonflies and butterflies for your car. There are snakes and turtles swimming in the lake. They all splashing around, but none of them eat cake. Start walking, start talking, be amazed at what you see. Start walking, start talking, you with your family. Start walking, start talking, what they say is true. Spending time with your family makes a better you. Spending time with your family makes a better you. And they'll probably tell you stories like this one. A pizza tree, growing in the garden is a pizza tree. It's a pizza tree, growing in the garden is, what? You never heard of a pizza tree? Well, let me tell you about that. Odetta had the best grandpapa in the whole wide world. He had been a sailor as a young man, and he had traveled the world and fell in love with seeing all the different countries. He said, you know, people all over the world are the same. They just have different names. They probably do some of the very same things. And in each country, he sent her something. He sent her bracelets from India. He sent her beautiful attire from South America. He sent her jumping beans from Mexico. And from Switzerland, he sent her the sweetest chocolate. But she wasn't sure what this was. It came in the mail, and the mailman said, "Oh, Dada, there's a letter from your grandpa." "Oh, Dada, there's a letter from your grandpa." "A letter? A letter? You say I have a letter?" "Yes, there's a letter from your grandpa." Now, Grandpa always sent beautiful letters because they were always emerald green with sparkling butterflies, so she knew exactly who it came from. But she wasn't sure what this was. She tore open the letter, and out dropped a star-shaped object with 7 different colors: red, yellow, black, white, purple, green, and blue, shaped like a star. "Mom," she called, "what is it?" "I don't know," said Mom. "Why don't you read the letter from Grandpa?" Well, the Grandpa's letter said, "Dear Odetta, the finest granddaughter and my favorite in the whole wide world." "Mom?" "Yes, darling." "Am I Grandpa's only granddaughter?" "Yes, darling." "That's why you're his favorite in the whole wide world." "Okay." "Dear Odetta, this is a seed, and it came from the belly of a fish. In this country, they believe a seed that comes from the belly of a fish has magical powers. So here's what I want you to do. Dig a hole in the ground and plant the seed. The sun will come out, the rain will come down, and the seed will grow and grow and grow. The sun will come out, the rain will come down, and the seed will surely grow." Wow! Amazing, Mom! It's magical. It came from the belly of a fish. Let's go plant it. So Mom and Odetta went out to the backyard where they had a big garden. They loved fresh food. They knew that healthy food builds a healthy body. A healthy body builds a healthy mind. A healthy mind builds a healthy heart that will last for the rest of your life. They had beans and squash and peanuts and fruit trees, blueberries, raspberries, radishes, onions. Oh, where would they plant this seed? She wasn't sure if it was going to be a bush or a tree. So they found the spot, dug the hole, planted the seed. And sure enough, the sun came out, the rain came down, and the seed grew up and up and up. Well, it just so happens that Odetta was out in the garden picking blueberries, out in the garden picking blueberries, out in the garden picking blueberries and taking a juicy bite. When she smelled something familiar, she called, "Mom!" "Yes, darling." "The seed has sprouted and it smells familiar." "Well, what does it smell like, darling?" "Mom, it smells like cheese." "Cheese? Babe, trees or bushes or shrubs do not smell like cheese." "Mom, this one does. You need to come smell." Well, Mom promised she would come smell. But at the time, she was painting the walls in the kitchen. And she said she would come afterwards. But after finishing, the phone rang. And it was Auntie Della. And Auntie Della went on and on and on. And pretty soon, Odetta forgot about the little shrub that smelled like cheese, and so did Mom. But a few days later, Odetta was out in the garden pulling tomatoes, out in the garden pulling tomatoes, out in the garden pulling tomatoes, and taking a juicy bite. When she smelled something familiar. The seed had sprouted even more. There were more branches on the little bush, so she called Mom. Mom! Yes, darling? The seed is sprouted, and this time it smells like bread. Bread, said Mom. Yes, Mom, baking bread. Mom was being funny. She said, now is that white bread or brown bread? Because, you know, brown bread has fiber in it. She said, I don't know, Mom. All I'm saying is it smells like bread. You need to come and smell it. Well, Mom came racing down the stairs to smell. Mom was all clogged up because she had allergies and she couldn't smell anything, so she didn't smell the bush that smelled like baking bread. I can't smell a thing, darling. Mom, I'm telling you, well, if you say so, okay. It's just unusual. Mom couldn't smell it. Well, a few days later, Odetta was out in the garden pulling sweet peaches, out in the garden pulling sweet peaches, out in the garden pulling sweet peaches, and taking a juicy bite. When she smelled, once again, a familiar fragrance. Mom! Yes, dear? You need to come. I'm changing the tire on the bicycle, love. After I finish changing the bicycle tire, we're going to take a ride to the park. Mom, you need to come now. It smells like pepperoni. Pepperoni, said Mom. I've never smelled a tree that smelled like pepperoni. Come, Mom, come now. Well, Mom came down the steps and out into the backyard, and just as she got to the tree, it began to do something most unusual. It began to pop, just like popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. And each time the tree popped, a flower popped out on the little tree. 7 different colors, just like the seeds. Red, yellow, black, white, purple, green, and blue. Oh my goodness, thought Mom. Yeah, I smell pepperoni. But the popping tree is amazing. So Mom and Odetta tiptoed over to the tree, pulled off one of those flowers, and pulled back the petals. And in the middle of the flower was a pizza! Oh my goodness! It's a pizza tree, growing in the garden. It's a pizza tree, it's a pizza tree, growing in the garden is a pizza tree. Oh wow, said Odetta, this is great. And Mom says, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do with all of this pizza? Odetta says, Mom, that's easy. Let's have a pizza party. Invite the neighbors to the party. They can eat from the pizza tree. Invite the neighbors to the party. They can eat with you and me. And Mama said, good idea. Let's invite the neighbors to the party. So all the neighbors were invited to come and eat from the pizza tree. Oh, they had so much fun. And they used their manners. May I have another slice, please? Oh, excuse me, is there more? Oh, let me serve you. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It was fabulous. And Odetta told the story of how Grandpa Pa had sent that fantastic seed, and how they had watered and planted, and how it had produced the wonderful pizza. Thin crust, low-fat cheese with pepperoni. It was delicious. And the best part was, when everybody left, they said, thank you. And before they left, they helped with the cleanup. And they left with happy smiles and full bellies and stories about that fabulous pizza tree seed. And Odetta thought that was the end of the story, except a few weeks later, she was Out in the garden, pulling cucumbers. Out in the garden, pulling cucumbers. Out in the garden, pulling cucumbers and taking a juicy bite. When the tree began to shake and shiver and pop, 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 Mom! Pop, 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 pop. Mom came running out the back door, and sure enough, the tree had popped once again with 7 different colors for each flower: red, yellow, black, white, purple, green, and blue. Oh my goodness, said Mom. What are we going to do with all of these pizzas this time? Odetta says, Mom, I was down at the local food bank, and there were people there who did not have enough food to eat. Why don't we invite anyone who does not have enough food to eat to come and eat from the pizza tree? You are such a smart little girl, said her mom. Why don't we do that? So they invited anyone who was hungry to come and eat from the pizza tree. And they did. And they too had nice manners. May I have more, please? Is there another serving? Oh, thank you. Would you please pass me? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. You're welcome. May I serve you? And they too helped with the cleanup. And they too left with full tummies, happy smiles, and stories about that fabulous pizza tree scene. And Odetta was sure that was the end of the story, except a few days before the end of the summer, she was out in the garden pulling those squash, out in the garden pulling up squash, out in the garden pulling those squash and dropping them into a basket when the tree began to shake and shiver and pop, 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 Mom! Pop, 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 pop. But this time, there were no pizza. Not any at all. But hundreds and hundreds of star-shaped stars with 7 different colors: red, yellow, black, white, purple, green, and blue. These were the seeds that Grandpapa had sent, and now they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Oh my goodness, thought Mom. What are we going to do with all of these seeds? And Odetta said, Mom, while I was at the local library, I read that there are countries all over the world where people do not have enough food to eat. Why don't we send these seeds to those countries? Wow, said Mom, that's an amazing idea. But who's going to mail all of those letters? Oh, Mom, I bet anyone who ate from the pizza tree would be willing to send out a few letters. And they were. That people came and gathered the seeds, and everybody chose a country where people did not have enough food to eat and sent those seeds all over the world. And in the spring, letters started coming in to Odetta and her mom, hundreds and hundreds of letters that said the very same thing. Thank you. Because of those wonderful pizza tree seeds, no one in our country will ever be hungry again. And that was something to rejoice. But the best joy of all was when a few days later, the doorbell rang, and Papa was back. Grandpapa had come home from one of his worldwide traveling adventures. He grabbed Odetta in his arms and gave her a hug. She says, oh, Grandpapa, I can't wait to tell you about that magical pizza tree seed. He said, a pizza tree seed? She says, yes. It was a pizza tree, growing in the garden was a pizza tree. I wrote that story, and if I can write a story, you can write a story too. The best part about writing a story is using your creative imagination and let the joy begin. Ready? Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Hot dog, boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Hot dog, boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Now, out in the forest where the grass grows slow, is a great big tiger with corns on his toes. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. A mighty hippopotamus, a great big yak, went swimming in the water with birds on their back. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Now, down by the river, squeaky mice on rocks were eating popcorn and stitching their socks. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. When they heard a mighty roar. It was the lion. And when the creatures in the forest heard the lion, they would shake and shiver and run because they knew the lion was going to make somebody his dinner. And nobody wanted to be the lion's dinner. The animals got tired of running from the lion. They decided they needed to have a meeting. The little guy said, "We need to do something about that lion." Somebody said, "Well, what you gonna do?" The hippo said, "Tie a bell around his neck." The giraffe said, "You hadn't read that book, have you?" "Well, no, that didn't work." Another creature, the zebra, said, "We can all move away from our home. Why should we run away from our home? We can share this land. He's not the only one here." And then Jumping Jack Rabbit said, "Why don't we feed him one meal a day and ask him to stay away?" Ooh, good idea. Somebody needs to go tell the lion that. Cockatoo? No, not me. Peacock? Oh, no, not me. Muskrat? No, I can't go. Elephant, you're a big guy. Why don't you go tell him? I'm not going to go near his cave. I will yell in his general direction. Very good. So Elephant went a-walking. He went a-walking, yeah. He went a-walking through the forest. He was close enough to run if he needed to the lion's cave. So he yelled, "Mr. Lion, yeah, we want to feed you one meal a day, and then we want you to stay away." You want to feed me one meal a day and you want me to stay away? Do I have to come get it? No, we'll bring it to you. All right, I'll take your one meal a day, but you need to bring it on time because I like my dinner on time. I like my dinner on time. Don't you make me wait. Don't you be late. I like my dinner on time. Oh, we can do that. No problem at all. So the elephant went back to tell all the creatures that Mr. Lion would, yes, take one meal a day. He wanted it on time. That was the only thing he said. And then one of the creatures asked, "So what you gonna feed him?" Nobody had thought what they would feed a lion. His favorite meal was fresh meat. They could all be the lion's meal. But nobody had any ideas. Come on, cat food. No, he will not eat cat food. Oatmeal, he will not eat oatmeal. Peas and rice, he will not eat peas and rice. And then Jumping Jack Rabbit said, "I have been reading about the nutritional benefits of tofu." Tofu? Tofu. What? Tofu. If you put gravy on top, it tastes like anything you want it to taste like. Let's get some for the lion. So they sent for tofu. They put the gravy on top and they took it to the lion. On Monday, he ate tofu. On Tuesday, he ate tofu. On Wednesday, Thursday, he ate tofu. But on Friday, they heard a mighty roar. Oh my goodness. They began to shake and shiver. But before they could run, somebody said, "Stop! We need to see what the problem is." Elephant? All right, here I go again. He went a-walking. He went a-walking. Yeah, he went a-walking through the forest. "Mr. Lion, what's the problem?" And the lion said, "I want fresh meat." He said, "I want fresh meat." That's what he said. He said, "I want fresh meat. It's good and sweet. I want fresh meat." Okay. So Mr. Elephant went back to tell the other so somebody had to be the lion's meal so the rest of them could survive. Not me. No, not me. The elephant wouldn't go. The rhinoceros wouldn't give himself up. The monkeys hung up in the trees. Nobody? Zebra? Deer? Nobody? Jumping Jack Rabbit suggested they all put their names in the log, and Peacock could pull out the name that was willing to sacrifice himself so the rest of them could live. And don't you know, the name he pulled out was Jumping Jack Rabbit. Oh no, not me! That's what I get for having all the ideas. And then he stopped. He remembered something his mother taught him when he was a little fellow. Mama said, small is mighty when you use your mind. The little guy could win every time. He says, I can handle this. How can you handle this? I'll show you. Off he went to tell his wife and his children, all 25. I'm going to be the lion's dinner. Oh, no, said the wife. Oh, no, cried the children. No, Papa, no. He said, it's all right. I'll be home in time for us to eat dinner together. How you want to be the lion's meal and still be home in time for us to eat dinner together? Because, my son, small is mighty when you use your mind. Okay. So, kissed his wife, all 25 children, and walked off toward the lion. He said, bye to the birds, bye. He said, bye to the fish, bye. He said, bye to the turtles, and they took all day. Came the mighty noise from the lion. He knew he was late. He went hopping off as fast as he could. Mr. Lion, I'm so sorry. I was on my way to be your meal, and the biggest lion I've ever seen tried to eat me up. I'm telling you, he was huge. You say what? I said there's another lion in your part of the forest, and he is huge. The one thing one lion does not like is another lion being in his part of the forest. So he had to go see about this lion that was in his part of the forest. So he said to Jumping Jack Rabbit, take me to this lion. Okay. They went a walking, hey. They went a hopping, hey. They went a strolling through the forest. They came through the thickers and the briars and the rose bushes, and they squeezed through. And on the other side was a great big hole. The lion looked around and said, where is this lion that's so big? And Jumping Jack Rabbit said, he's huge. Well, show him to me. He's over there in that hole. Over there in that hole. Yeah, that big hole right there. Lion took a stroll over to that big hole, looked down. Oh! The biggest lion he'd ever seen was down in that hole. He began to shake, and Jumping Jack Rabbit chose that time to poke fun at Mr. Lion. Brother Lion, aren't you the king of the forest? What you gonna do? Tell me what you gonna do. You're the king. Oh, well, the lion wanted to be the king. He had to get himself together. He said, I'm the king around here. And the lion down in the hole said, I'm the king around here. Get out of my forest. And the lion in the hole said, get out of my forest. Jumping Jack Rabbit wanted to know, what you gonna do? Tell me what you gonna do. You the king. Well, the king let his pride get in the way because he called down into the hole, I'm coming for you. And the lion in the hole said, I'm coming for you. And when the lion jumped into the hole, he made a mighty splash. He spun around, clawing and growling, and went to eat that lion up. And found there was nobody in the hole but him. He was in the hole by himself. He'd been looking at his reflection. Oh my goodness. He was stuck in the bottom of a hole filled with water. And Jumping Jack Rabbit had the nerve to be laughing.
You ate up the others, but you didn't get me. He said, ha, ha, ha. You ate up the others, but you didn't get me. Small is mighty when you use your mind. The little guy can win every time. And Jumping Jack Rabbit left that lion in the muddy hole, crying and whining while he hopped off to have dinner with his family. He had corn, he had black-eyed peas, he had collard greens and okra and squash. He must have had some of a garden that had been grown by a little girl and her mom. He was having the best time with his family. But I know you're wondering, what happened to the lion in the hole? Well, he was still crying and whining as the sun was going down. And there came another lion through the forest who heard the moaning and recognized the voice. And she called down in the hole, "Hey, Leroy, is that you?" "Yeah, sissy, is that you?" It was his sister. She just happened to be going through the forest on her way to visit their mom when she heard him and said, "What are you doing down in that hole?" "I was tricked by that little bitty jackrabbit." "Oh my goodness," she said. "You've been messing with the little guy. Don't you know you don't mess with the little guy? Remember what Mama said?" "What did she say?" "She said small is mighty because they use their minds. If I pull you out of that hole, will you leave the little guys alone from this point on?" "Yes, sissy." So she lowered a branch so her brother could crawl up out of the hole, shook himself, and promised to leave the little guys alone from that point on. And he and his sister went home. And when they told Mama the story, she repeated, "Small is mighty when you use your mind. The little guy can win every time." Da 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 da. We're all different, yet we're all the same. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're all different, yet we're all the same. We just have winning styles. Everybody has something that they do wonderfully. Everybody has something to offer. You can learn from everybody. So give everybody a winning chance. Is that all right? Good. Thank you very much. I'm Willow Brigham, storyteller, inspirational speaker, performance artist. Check me out. I might be the one you've been looking for.